how much does an S Corp tax return cost, or how much should you expect it to cost as you budget for your tax return filing? Well, this really varies based on four uh, potential factors. The first is the overall complexity of the tax return. And what I mean by this is how large are your chart of accounts? Do you have foreign transactions? Do you have a lot of capital purchases or inventory valuation items? Any of these items that can add complexity will add to the number of schedules in your tax return, will add to additional costs. The second is overall record quality. You can see I drew a little shoebox of receipts. The better your records for your business are, most likely the less expensive your tax return filing is going to be because it's less time your tax preparer is going to need uh, updating the numbers, and they could just focus on preparing the return. The next is geographic location. We found that businesses that are located in higher cost of living areas, bigger cities such as San Francisco, New York, will often have higher prices for their tax returns compared to smaller towns or areas with a lower cost of living. And then lastly, the overall level of expertise from your tax preparer. A tax attorney or a CPA is going to be most likely going to be more expensive than a standard tax preparer. So just something to keep in mind as you shop around for different tax preparers, which will contribute to the overall cost of what you can expect to pay for an S Corp tax return. So overall, if you have a pretty basic tax return, you probably can expect to pay between $500 a year and $2,000. And this is a big range, but it really does matter based on the factors I mentioned above. A moderate tax return will usually be between $1,000 and $2,500. And then a highly complex tax return really can run you anywhere up of north of $2,500. Our current tax returns start at $1,595, which is we found to be pretty reasonable. A lot of people think that TurboTax is a more cost-effective alternative, but you can see I'll compare some different prices across some different CPA websites or tax preparer websites that I found, so you can kind of compare. So you can see here TurboTax. If you have one of the TurboTax preparers actually prepare the return for you, you'll see this starts at $1,749 per return, and that doesn't even include any states. And most states will have separate tax returns. So just be aware that that is the starting cost for TurboTax. This is this WCG CPAs. You can see that their business tax return starts at $1,500. This is Buckeye CPA located in Columbus, Ohio. You can see that their business tax returns start at $600, so this is on the lower end of the range. This is My CPA Coach. You can see that their business tax return starts at $1,500. Here's the Graph Taxco, which is based in Texas. Their business returns, their median price is $2,200. Here's Will Chen, CPA. He's based in Washington, and his S Corp returns, the base price is between $1,000 and $3,000 per return. And then lastly, Dark Horse CPAs, which is a virtual CPA practice. You can see that their starting price for a business, the most basic S Corp return, so less than $500K of revenue and only one shareholders, will start at $2,496 based on their calculator. So you could see it really depends. It's a pretty big range. So just something to think about as you budget and start on your upcoming Form 1120S S Corp tax return.